Hello friends, good afternoon, welcome back once again. Today it will be the last lecture on the novel The Great Gatsby. Already we have covered the discussion on the plot, the characters and the themes and main ideas of the novel The Great Gatsby. So this will be the last lecture on the novel The Great Gatsby, in which I will be discussing something about the construction of the plot and how the writer has written this novel. So it will be more like a structural analysis of the novel, and this will not take much time. So this thing we have to remember that this novel is written in parts, like there are chapters and it is divided into chapters, which makes it convenient for the readers to read it in over a period of time. It is not like the other novel of the another American writer, Old Man and the Sea. Who wrote it? Ernest Hemingway. That particular novel is like a continuous narration. Even the novel Untouchable by Mulk Raj Anand is a continuous narration, which makes it difficult to read it in parts. But this novel is, since it is in chapters, it is easily read, it can be read easily and understood easily. Then we might find some things difficult when it comes to the language aspect, because it is American English, although it is not as difficult as the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, wherein he has used a lot of Mississippian dialect in American English, which was a little difficult for us to understand. But this novel, since it is written in the usual dialect of American English, we can understand it easily. And then the plot. How is the plot written? How the novel carries itself? It is into a linear plot. Like, it begins with some action and it goes on continuing. There are no major flashbacks as such. Only there are a few episodes wherein there is a mention of a story from flashback, but there is no direct flashback technique used. The plot is quite linear throughout the novel. So one event starts, which leads to another, and then it leads to another. So thus it goes on continuing. There is no clear-cut flashback method used here in this plot construction. And then coming to the narrative aspect of this novel, it is in first person narration, wherein we already know what is first person narration, what is third person narration. In third person narration, it is the novelist who writes the novel and who tells the story of the novel to us. But in this first person narration is there, wherein one of the characters in the novel, either it may be a male character or a female character, he takes the role of being a narrator. He or she tells the whole story of the novel, being a part of the novel itself. So that character who is narrating us the story, who is telling us the story, is also a major active part in the novel. So throughout the novel we see the novel is in first person narration, which is from the point of view of Mr. Nick Carraway. Then coming to the main plot, see, we have main plots and subplots in the novel. Like, the main plot we have is the story of Jay Gatsby. What happens to him, what happens to his life, what happens to his pursuit of American dream. So the main character has the main story here, main plot. Which are the subplots? Subplots are the other characters' stories, like Tom and Myrtle's extramarital affair, Tom and Daisy's story from the past and in the present also, and then Nick and Jordan Baker's incomplete love story. So these are the subplots of the novel. Where is this novel set? Like we say, there is always a setting in which the story is to be narrated. So the setting of the story of this plot is it captures the area of Eastern American part, like the New York City. Some part of the story happens in New York City, some part of it happens in the, and major part of the story happens on the Long Islands in the two parts called West Egg and East Egg, and then also some part in between it happens even in the Valley of Ashes, where there is the episode of George Wilson and Myrtle Wilson. So the setting is quite easy. It is not set across 2 or 3 countries or nations. It is just situated, the whole story is situated, and it happens only in the New York region, New York and Long Island region. So that is the plot setting. And the times, of course, we have already discussed the 1920s, the decade of 1920s, and especially the story happens in the summer of 1922. The whole story happens in this summer period of 1922. Then there is something interesting about the story of J. Gatsby. There are lots of versions, okay, and these versions of Gatsby's story may lead us to confusions. Like there is Gatsby's own version of the story. He tells about his life, and that is a totally different story. Tom's version is different. Tom has investigated about the past of J. Gatsby, and his version is different. And then the people who are attending the party of Mr. J. Gatsby, they have a different version of J. Gatsby's story and his past. And then his father's version is also a different one. How his father, Henry C. Gatz, at the end comes to attend the funeral, and how he wished his son to be as a grown-up man. So that is another version of Gatsby's story. So these are all the different versions which give him some sort of a mythical status. So something, although we know many things about J. Gatsby, there are some details which we might feel that they are being missed. So this gives some mysterious quality to the character of J. Gatsby, and perhaps it was the intention of the writer to keep some part of this character as a mystery itself. Then, so these are some important structural aspects of the novel. Then there is one important symbol in the novel which I did not mention. Purposely I did not mention in the plot because it would have been missed. Because it is important, I wanted to tell this separately. So the symbol here used in the novel, which is very important, is a green light. So what is this green light about? So I will first put it into context. In one of the chapters, we come to know that J. Gatsby has invited Nick Carraway to one of his parties. And when Nick is curious to know about J. Gatsby, he is looking at his neighbor quite observantly, and every evening J. Gatsby comes out of his big mansion and just comes near his garden and stares at a green light that is coming from the other part of the bay. Like, now this man is living in the West Egg, J. Gatsby is living in the West Egg, even Nick Carraway is living in the West Egg, and there is some sort of a green light coming in the evening time, in the night time, from the other part that is in the East Egg. So that light is very symbolic here. And J. Gatsby keeps watching this light very observantly, very keenly, as if in a dreamlike world. He keeps looking at this green light coming, and it is a symbol of the aspirations which he had. So green light we always associate with green signal, that is, which tells us to go ahead. So it is a signal of hope for J. Gatsby, because he thinks that it is on this part of Long Island that his beloved Daisy was living, and it was a sort of green light that was coming from her dock. So for J. Gatsby, it was the memory of Daisy which made him pursue the lifestyle which he was having now, and that was a sign of hope for him. That was the sign of Daisy's safety and security. So, and also this green light happens to be the lifeline, happens to be the hopeful line in the life of J. Gatsby. He keeps on watching that green light every night which reminds him about the past um, beautiful days spent with Daisy. So it symbolizes love, and then it symbolizes wealth and also the American dream, because of this light he is dreaming to become a rich man, a lavish man, in order to impress his old girlfriend Daisy. So this is an important symbol in the novel, the green light that he keeps on watching every night, every evening without fail. So it is a sign of hope for him, and perhaps he waits to invite Daisy to show how rich he has become. So this is an important symbol in the novel, the symbol of love, prosperity, and a go-ahead sign for American dream. So these are the aspects that I had to discuss with you about the novel The Great Gatsby. Now the discussion on this particular novel is completed. I have spoken in about 7 or 8 lectures on this particular novel. Please go through them in detail, and if you have any doubts, you can put your queries. Thank you so much. Meet you soon in my next lecture. Thank you.